So I got into a relationship with a married man. I lost so much. First things first, I ended up leaving home to live with this guy. And me and my dad didn't talk for 2 whole years.
And you knew of his status?
I knew of his status a bit after.
Yes.
Yes. And even after I found out, I didn't care. Because I was in love, you know. And I just didn't care about anybody else or anything else. The number one cause of suicide and depression is shame. And there's also fear of speaking out. Because sometimes when people do, they are met with such negativity.
Yeah.
So for me, my story hadn't yet broken on social media, but the news about me and everything was everywhere. Everywhere. So imagine family members. You're thinking about your circle. I was thinking about DJ Kim Nigdi. Gosh, now what does this guy think about me? You know, I was so worried about what other people think about me. And that kept me hidden.
How did these 2 years help you again try to rebuild your life?
These 2 years made me realize, first of all, I'm not a victim. These things weren't done to me. I did them to myself.
Wow.
Every wrong decision I made got me to this place. Got me here.
Yeah.
You know? And then the second thing, the way I treated my dad and disrespected him, I think to me,
So it's like there is a cost pegged to you doing good. Are you saying like you can never be Angeline, very happy and okay without a cost to it? And why a cost is because there is that disconnect of who you are and the expectations out there.
A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to today's episode of LNS. My name is Lynn Ngugi. Now, the topic we are about to handle today is no strange. If I tell you the number of emails I have about, mobile app loans, about depression, about things that have really happened with so many people that they got themselves in that rabbit hole and they don't know how to come out of it, there are many. But what are the chances that the person willing to walk us through her story is someone that you guys have seen before? For the longest time, I also kept wondering what happened to Angeline. You know, she would come at Kiss TV and she would, like, her energy, you guys will also feel it on the show. She has beautiful energy and I kept wondering what happened to her. So when I saw her email and I was like, this is familiar. And then I read her story. I was like, what are the chances that she has gone through this? But please understand, our series, we are dubbing it rebuilding. People have gone through what they've gone through, but they always find a way to come out of it. So she's going to be walking us through her story. And also, we will be joined, now you all know her, our resident therapist, Teresa Kainika from All Smiles Therapy. She will be talking to us about the things that we are going to gather here on the show, because I always say, as much as we understand these things, it's important for us to have professional guidance. So Teresa from All Smiles will be joining us, and I love the feedback that you guys are also giving us about All Smiles Therapy, and now you know where to find them. Their offices in Westlands are beautiful. You can see them right there on the screen. So msiogope, they are real people, they exist, they have a lot of professionals. Uko ndani, go see someone and let them sort you out. So she'll be joining us here on today's episode. But before I even let my guest introduce herself, I want to say thank you so much, guys. You have been incredible. 700k subscribers, here we come. It can only be God. So asanteni sana, continue sharing, our work with people out there and continue supporting us. We do not take it for granted. Go see your elegance, but go support them, my people. And now, without further ado, please allow me to let this lovely lady introduce.
Actually,
Yes.
that was such a bomb introduction, by the way.
Man, they be saying now, Lynn, you talk a lot in your intro. Lynn, you
Like,
talk a lot.
honestly, what an introduction. Aki, first of all, I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for responding to my email.
Yay.
You know, it takes a lot of guts and courage for somebody to sit here on the couch and share their story, open up to hundreds and of thousands of people.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yes.
There's a lot of fear that comes with it. There's a lot of shame that comes with it. So the fact that you've created a platform where people can do so without being judged is totally amazing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, you have it in you. It comes so naturally. The presenter in you is right there. The personality you knew, it's still right here. And I'm just looking at you with so much admiration because, as you've said, it takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
But before we can go deeper, I know you, but maybe there are some people who are like, where have I seen her? Where have I seen her? So please, if you can introduce yourself.
All right, so I'm Angeline Wanjeri. I was a TV presenter at KISS for 8 years. I hosted the late night show Afterburn.
Yes. All right, what are some of the things you should not do in someone's home? Now, let me share with you guys a personal experience.
I don't know if guys can remember
They
it.
remember.
Yes, and yeah, that's where I've been. I resigned August 2022. That is when I handed in my resignation, served my 3 months notice and left in October. So much was going on in my life behind the scenes, which led to me deciding to quit my job. So much was happening. And I just felt like it was time to just let everything crumble, let everything fall, because my foundation was so weak and it was so poor. I just felt like I needed a fresh start. I needed a new beginning. So I just let everything come crashing down. And I remember when I told my dad, I've quit my job, he was like, okay, COVID, we were still suffering from the after effects of COVID. Now that you have no job, how are you going to survive? How are you going to pay bills? How are you going to do ABCD? What's your plan? So I told him, I don't know, but I felt it was time for me to resign. Also, I wasn't happy I spent 8 years too long. I had been wanting to resign 5 years into working at that TV station, but fear held me back. Fear kept me back because I kept asking myself, if I'm not Angeline Wanjeri, the KISS TV presenter, what else am I? What is out there for me? I was so afraid to step out, you know, into my own. So I stayed. And even my dad asked me, if you were so unhappy, why did you stay so long?
Isn't that
Why
the
did you stay
question?
so long?
Like
Exactly.
for
And I
everyone?
had no answer. Sometimes we stay so long in situations, forgetting that because God has planted you somewhere, it doesn't mean you're to stay there forever.
Oh, man, we are about to get deeper
exactly.
into this.
Sometimes God places you somewhere as a stepping stone. We don't realize it. We allow fear to hold us back. And that's exactly what I did. I should have resigned at the 5-year mark, but I was afraid.
You kept going.
I kept going.
You know, there's more to your story.
Yes.
There's a lot, but I'm loving the fact that, God, I feel like we're about to have a very genuine conversation.
Amen.
You know, but even before we do, I want to affirm into you.
Yeah.
You still have it in you.
Thank
you
you
are
so
so
much.
natural. And even the people who are watching, they can feel it. You know, there's that aura that someone has and you can tell, man, so whatever you do from now onwards, I don't want you to give up on your dream. You know, I don't want you to shrink and feel like you can do this and you are just meant for it and it shows in you. So maybe if you can take us through your story so that we understand how did we get here and what are some of the things that you are rebuilding in your life right now.
Okay, but before we get into that, I wanted to give a little background about what got me here on this couch. First of all, I always used to watch you on Tuko. I used to watch you interviewing people so that I could get tips on interviewing skills. You are so good at what you do. So I followed you from that moment till even the moment you started your YouTube channel. And I remember when I resigned from my job, I made a mental note, August 2022, I am going to share my story on the Lynn Ngugi platform on YouTube. The mistake I did is I opened up to somebody and I told them, I have a plan. I want to share my story, you know, because I feel it will resonate with so many people. And this person responded in such a negative way, telling me, no, don't do it. If you do it, you're going to shame the family. It's going to affect so many other people negatively. Reacted so negatively to what I said. I got scared. Again, see, fear. I got scared. I was like, hey, okay, so I can't do it. Let me not do it. So I procrastinated for 2 years. Do you know, every morning I would wake up and think of Lynn Ngugi. Before I sleep, I was thinking of Lynn Ngugi. Every single day, I would even pray because I felt it's something that has been put in my heart. It's something that I'm being told to do. Share your story, share your story. Because, you know, sometimes the things we go through that we feel so ashamed about, we feel so humiliated about, are stepping stones to something greater, you know? So I prayed about it, prayed about it. When I was finally ready to do it, I sent you an email on a Friday. And I remember I was like, okay, God, I have finally done it, 2 years in the making. So if she responds, well and good. If not, I will wait. And I'd watched an interview you'd done, this lady who I think became a pastor. Then you did a follow-up interview. And then there was an audience. And someone asked, and someone was saying they have written to you for a story. They haven't gotten a response. And you said, so many people write to me. And I try my best to go through every story. But if I am able to get back to you, I will. So in my mind, I was like, okay, so even if I email Lynn, it might take 3 months, it might even take a year. So it even decided me. So when I finally sent the email on Friday, you responded a few hours later. And then you said, I'll call you tomorrow. Saturday came, you didn't call. I panicked. I was like, God, what is happening? I did what you said. Sunday came, I was like, okay, Sunday is a resting day, so let's give it a break. Monday came. I woke up in the morning, I prayed. Lynn hasn't called me, Lord, but I leave it up to you, because if this is your plan, something is going to come out of it. I finished praying. You called me. I think it was 11 a.m. in the morning. Guess what? Monday, June 26th was my birthday. I mean, I remember when I shared that with my younger sister, she was like, oh my gosh, God gift wrap. God. You know, if that isn't affirmation, I don't know what is. You know, imagine 2 years in the making, like praying and thinking and wondering, being afraid and being ashamed. And then finally you take action. It's like God was there. He was just waiting for you to act, you know?
Hey,
I know.
I tell this shows out
June 26th, my birthday. I will never forget. I will not. I actually cried after that call. I cried. I worshipped. I said, God, thank you. So I knew this is from you. You know, this is from you. I accept it, and it's going to go amazing.
Happy belated.
Yes, thank you so much.
Let me tell you, just so people understand. I've said this also before. Like now, the show you watched, it had taken us a year and 4 months, I think, for us to be able to sit together and have a conversation. And I've always said, this thing happens. I don't know if it happens to other people, but this is how it happens to me. I'll open my email and I'll just look at something. And my gut feeling is telling me, don't do it, don't do it. And then I'll open almost 30 or 40 emails. And I'll bump into one email, one email, and I'll just look at it like this, and I'll be like, God, what do I do? No, I'll even tell Valerie, what do you think? I'll send it to Valerie and be like, what do you think about this one? And I'll get an email and I'll even reply it 5 minutes later. And there's another one I'll get and I'll reply it a year later. But I always say, if we've not sat down yet, it's because it's not time. Because it's not time. And I don't know how it happens, but I try so much to get back to everyone. But then I'm like, if this happens, God, then the chances. I didn't even call you. When I wanted to call you now, like tomorrow, by the time I was done, it was too late. Sunday, I also thought, today it's resting day. No way I'm calling her today. Monday, you were top of my priority. After the shoot, I was still like, let me call her. You were the first person I called. And what are the chances it was your birthday? So this is so ordained, and I'm glad we are here.
So amazing.
I'm so
like,
glad
honestly,
you thought about me.
No,
I'm glad I'm just so glad you thought of, like, I don't even know.
everything
some people
works
call
out.
it imposter syndrome or whatever, but sometimes I don't even think I have it in me to inspire people. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, what am I doing with my life also?
You do.
You know, I'm like, but
you've helped so many people, you have no idea.
Thank you.
You see, when I watch a story on YouTube and you see what someone has gone through and how they have overcome, that's a blessing. Because I get to look at my own situation and say, you too can overcome. Anybody can overcome their situation.
No, thank you for that. You didn't have to. But
I know, I just needed to share that.
It has affirmed so many things in my life now, you know. So thank you. You have no idea. So thank you. Thank you. The floor is yours. All right. Feel free.
Yeah. So I'd really thought about where will I start, but I guess with every story you start at the beginning. So growing up, I'd always wanted to be one of two things, either a TV presenter or an air hostess. So TV presenters because of the being in front of the camera, the fame that came with it. And then for the air hostessing is because of the traveling aspect of it. I loved the idea of being able to travel to different countries, explore different cities, meet glamorous people. Because I believe when we were younger, everyone thought air hostessing is such a glamorous job, you know. So when my dad asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, either a TV presenter or an air hostess. And he was like, no. I am not educating you so that uniambie ati unaenda kufanya kazi ndani ya ndege. And you know, my dad was very, very strict. You know, he really farmhand, like he was a very, very tough guy. My mother died when we were young. So my dad took on the role of mother and father. So he was very strict and his word went, whatever he said, that's exactly, that's it. So I went with TV presenter and I have zero regrets because I realized TV presenter was a calling. Being in front of the camera is a calling because I feel I do have a voice and I have a message to tell. And then traveling is a passion, and a passion is something you can always kickstart at whatever stage in your life. Even now, I can make traveling a passion and even earn money from it. So anything is possible. So when I was primary school, high school, I had that mentality of I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be the next Catherine Kasavuli. Oh you know, that woman was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
Sophie Kenya.
Yes, Zain Vaji.
Zain Vaji. Amapo.
Then there was Fayaz Qureshi with his little mustache. He was so cute. You know, so when I went to school, I had that mentality. I was going to be on TV. I was going to be a star. I was never serious with school. I hated school. I hated books. I hated reading, and would clash with my dad a lot because of that. So this lack of seriousness went on primary school. My dad was always being called high school. Mara, you're playing too much with boys. You're distracting the class. You haven't done your assignments. So even when I've done them, they are poorly done, you know. So it wasn't a good situation. And we were really butting heads with my dad. So university time came. And my O-levels, I didn't do very well at all, you know. So I needed to do a certificate course and a diploma course, you know, to beautify my academic profile, you know. And it was there, I did that at Aussie. And it was there where I met these agents who are telling people to go study in Malaysia. So that's where I went to pursue my degree in mass communication, you know. And it wasn't easy for my dad to allow me to go because personally I feel he didn't feel I was ready, you know, to experience that freedom and to be out on my own. But again, we were really butting heads. So he thought maybe it's a good idea, let her just go and experience this. So I went to Malaysia. The first 2 years were really, really good. I was attending classes. My grades weren't that good, but at least I was trying because I really felt I had a lot to prove. Again, I'd never been good in school. My grades had always been poor. So people were always saying like, I won't amount to much, you know, I won't be successful, I'm a joker, you know. So the first 2 years, not so bad. The third year, because I'd gotten used to the country, I met new people, partying. And you know, this is something that happens to a lot of 20-something-year-olds who leave the country to get an education. You get trapped in this life, partying, some people drugs, you know, the freedom becomes too much that you can't handle it. Mentally, honestly, I couldn't. I was just happy being away from home, doing whatever I wanted, however I wanted, whenever I wanted. So by the time the 4th year was coming in, my classmates were graduating. I wasn't. And I remember I couldn't even tell my dad because of the shame and the fear. He actually sent 2 of my sisters to come to Malaysia on graduation day to see me graduate. They found out later that I wasn't graduating.
Oh my God.
So you know that shame, the money that your father has spent on your education.
Oh,
on top of that, he has sent your sisters to come and watch you graduate, only for them to find out you're not graduating. Yeah,
Man.
I know.
That must
So
have hurt him deep.
that must have hurt him deeply. Oh yes, even till today, it's something my dad still talks about, and not in a good way, you know. So that was one of my biggest, most serious mistakes, and things were just about to get worse. So I come back to Kenya. Of course, things with my dad are not going well. I was living at home. I missed the freedom that I had while I was in Malaysia. So I hit the ground running. I started looking for a job. So luckily, a girl that I knew in Malaysia had come to Kenya earlier, and she had gotten a job at this company called A24 Media. Yes, by Salim Amin, the son of Mohammed Amin. So she fixed for me an interview, and I got the job, worked there for 2 years. But as I pursued and was looking for something else, because remember, my dream was to be in front of the camera. I'm telling you, Lynn, I trekked because I had something to prove. I had messed up big time. I needed to prove to my dad. I needed to prove to my family that I can still amount to something. It's not too late for me. So I trekked and I trekked. I remember I would go to Tao, go to Kenya National Theatre, look at those notice boards, you know, advertisements. I did a Nitakuwepo ad. I think I was on a billboard. I got an episode in Mama Duka because I was acting, you know. Then finally one day, after, hey, I knew God. So one day, I had come home from a whole day of, you know, on my feet. And I saw online, Kiss TV is looking for a presenter. But I saw it, deadline said 5 p.m. I saw it at around 6:30. It was for the same day. So I was like, do I do it or do I not?
6:30 in the morning?
No, p.m. Deadline was 6:30 p.m.
Oh,
and I saw it at 5? Exactly.
Oh, okay.
No, I saw it later.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, it's too late. Do I send it or do I not? But something said, you just send your demo reel. I mean, I had it, so just email it to them. So I sent the email. And I totally forgot about it. I got a call 2 days later. So when I got the job, I'm finding out from my director, they had actually closed, they had stopped looking at people's videos. But something told her, I just check your email one last time. So she refreshed, and then she saw my email, and she decided to click open on it. And then when she saw it, she was like, yeah, this girl can do it. And I was called 2 days later for auditions. So you see how God works when you don't even realize how these things happen. You know, me, I knew it's too late, but behind the scenes, he's working and he's aligning some things. So I got the job and I was really, really excited. I mean, I was rubbing shoulders with celebrities, interviewing people, attending events, you know, partying and just having a good time. I was earning a salary. I was finally on TV. And for me, I felt like for me, it was also like I showed my dad, like, hey, what were you saying, that I'll never get a job? Okay, look at me now.
And not just anywhere.
And not just anywhere. Kiss TV.
This is the biggest thing right now.
Yes. Kiss TV was huge back then, you know. So I was really excited. I was really happy. But remember, again, my relationship with my dad, not so good. It was during my 8-year stay at Radio Africa that I got into a relationship with a married man. So this was going to be my second biggest mistake. Yes. So I got into a relationship with a married man. I lost so much. First things first, I ended up leaving home to live with this guy. And me and my dad didn't talk for 2 whole years.
And you knew of his status?
I knew of his status a bit after.
Yes.
Yes. And even after I found out, I didn't care. Because I was in love, you know, and I just didn't care about anybody else or anything else. Remember, again, doing what I want to do, how I want to do it,
It's just
when I want
me,
to do it.
me,
It's just me.
me.
Selfish. That was about to be my second biggest mistake. So again, I left home. I didn't live in a good way. And my dad just said, I release you. God bless you. We didn't talk for 2 years. And when that relationship, I lost friendships, people at work talking about me behind my back. I lost credibility as a woman. So when that relationship ended, who is the first person I called because I needed a place to stay? Remember, I've left my dad's home straight into this man's home. So when it came to rent and bills, he took care of everything.
So
but
you guys
also,
living together,
yes,
and his other family lives somewhere different?
Yes, exactly.
Can I ask you, what is it that made you not care? What is it that made you not say, there's another person here, there's another family, what I'm doing here is selfish?
Yeah.
So what made you not care?
Yeah. First thing was, he told me his relationship was over.
Yeah.
That he was even going to file for a divorce. So I don't want to go too deep into it,
It's
because
okay.
again,
Do only what you feel.
this is something that affects so many other people, you know. There's the wife, there's the children. So I really don't want Tati to bring up so many,
It's
you know,
okay.
or go too deep into it. But he told me that he was going to get a divorce. The relationship with his wife was over. So for me, as far as I knew, things were done. Things were done. So, and as I said, I was in love. So I didn't care what anybody thought. For me, again, it was just about my feelings. So when that relationship ended, it was such a tumultuous relationship, very toxic. When it finally ended, I remember there was even an intervention at some period in my life where people were really concerned because I wasn't looking the same. I wasn't dressing the same. There was a lot of drinking in that relationship. So it wasn't good.
Yes.
So when it finally ended, I remember calling my dad and I was really crying. And I was like, I remember I called him one time, he didn't pick up. Second time, he didn't pick up. Third time, he didn't pick up. He picked up on the fourth ring. He was like, yes. Remember, we haven't spoken in 2 years. When I heard my dad's voice, I just started crying. And I told him, Dad, I'm sorry. I've messed up. I've made such a big mistake and I need your help. So I'm crying and he was wondering, what is happening? Have you been beaten? What's going on? You know? So he told me, okay, pack your things, go to your sister's place, and then from there we'll sort it out and we'll see what happens. So there were a lot of conversations that went on behind the scenes. I had to atone, you know, for my sins, apologize to my dad and ask for a second chance. So he helped me get an affordable apartment. It was 20K rent. He helped me furnish it. This was the first time of me being on my own. Handling bills, handling money. I had never done that for myself. Everything I had needed had always been provided for by my father. You move into this relationship, this guy is also providing for you, and then now you're on your own. It was crazy. It was difficult. I have never had a budget in my life, Lynn. I did not know how to budget. I firmly believed money, you earn money, you spend it doing whatever it is you want to do. You want to party, go party. You want to go to a salon and pay 5,000 to get your hair, go do it. You know, everything will sort itself out. I was very irresponsible. And my dad was the one who was always paying the price because I would be unable to pay rent and I would call him. He would help. Next month, the same thing. Sometimes I would even feel so ashamed I wouldn't call. The rent would accumulate. Mpaka the landlord is coming to my house to find out what's happening. So it was very, very difficult. Then finally, again, God has given me so many chances. My dad calls me and he tells me, I have bought you an apartment. Since I'm seeing you struggling with rent, I have bought you an apartment. You're moving at the end of the month. Again, in this new apartment, he helped me furnish it. He did everything for me, curtains. You know, I moved with the couches and everything, but some extra things were needed.
Yeah.
My dad took care of that.
Yeah.
So he told me, now I don't expect you, Ati, to keep calling me and asking me for money. Now, handle things on your own.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And it was during that time when I started dealing with loan apps and putting my loans on items. Because, first of all, I was so ashamed because every time I have needed financial help, when I've messed up, always call my dad. He comes and he helps me out. He solves the issue. So this time I was like, no, enough is enough. I need to show this guy that I can stand on my own. So even when things were getting hard, I was unable to. I didn't call my dad this time round because I wanted him to feel that I'm responsible, that I'm doing well, everything is fine.
Yeah, did you move into the new apartment?
Yes, I moved to the new apartment.
So now you're not renting anymore?
No, I'm not renting
you're in
anymore.
New apartment.
Exactly.
You're still working.
Exactly.
And now here you are.
Exactly.
What's happening to your salary?
So my salary, first of all, when I moved to the new apartment, my salary was still very kidogo because I was still being paid as a starting person. Okay. So it wasn't much. So my behaviors were still the same. It was my behaviors that were not changing. So in fact, now that I wasn't paying rent, my behaviors became worse. Anything I wanted, I would go get. I remember one time walking into a shop and dropping 25,000 on perfume. You haven't paid water, you haven't paid service charge, you haven't paid Wi-Fi, you haven't done A, B, C, D. So I started, and I remember going on Google, and I was like, how to get quick money fast. And then loan apps. There were so many others. By the time my phone had over 12 loan apps. This one is giving you 5,000. This one is giving you 1,000. This one is giving you 8,000. This one is giving you 10,000. So when COVID happened, our salaries were slashed by a certain percentage. Before that happened, I'd kind of been able to keep up with payments. When the salaries were slashed, things became really, really bad because now I couldn't keep up with payments. So what do? I found a loan on items guy, and it's tied with your TV. You call him, hey, Nikona, Samsung, this. He tells you, take a picture. You take a picture, send it to him on WhatsApp. He tells you the value. I would get it for 13K. So he gives you 13, but when you're paying back, you pay back 16. Microwave, the same thing. Cooker, the same thing. Fridge, the same thing. Phone, my smartphone, the same thing.
What?
Yes. So it came to a point where one time my house was completely empty. Imagine you're doing the show, umeenda hapo umecheka yote, you've given your energy, you've given your all, but you're going home to an empty house. Why? Loan on items. And then what? You're waiting for your salary to come in so that you can get them back. But then when your salary comes and you pay them back, remember you're paying plus interest. So he brings them back. A few days later, you're calling him again and saying, TV, fridge, cooker, this, this. So it became such a toxic cycle, really toxic cycle. The loan apps, I cannot even begin to explain to you how nasty that situation was. I don't know what you've heard about loan apps. Those people are nasty.
They text your people in your call.
Oh, those people are nasty, Lynn. I remember they would call me, si when yule dem ati unafanya hiyo show Kiss TV na DJ Kim Nick D. Ni wewe? Wacha tumpigie. Since huwezi kulipa hiyo loan, wacha tumpigie tumwambie akulipie. So people would WhatsApp me, send me messages asking me what's wrong. I've just been called by this person saying you owe a loan, you have a debt. What's going on? They would even call people that I don't know, people that were not even in my phone book. Call them and say, huyu dema amesema weni amekuandika ka garanta, anasema we umlipie. That time you don't even know who this person is. So they texted and called people in my office, family members, my uncles, my aunties, my siblings, my friends, everybody. Sometimes your phone would ring more than 100 times in a day. Na unatukanwa, wanacheka. You know? So one time I remember I came home to my empty house, put off my phone and just put it under the couch. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want anything to do with it. Things got that bad.
Wait, and you still have to party?
And you still have, exactly. Because that's what you're doing. You're going out trying to impress people. You know, you're getting your hair done, trying to impress people. I'm a media personality, so I have this image to maintain. So you see, if you've listened to the story closely, mine was an accumulation of unchecked bad behavior. That was one. Unchecked bad behavior.
And now you're in this empty house.
And now I'm in this empty house.
You gotta show up at work.
Exactly.
You have a show to host.
Exactly.
You have friends to impress.
Exactly.
And your office starts hearing rumors.
Exactly.
And they already know other rumors.
Exactly.
How do you work in such an environment?
Exactly.
How do you show up at work?
How do you show up at work? So that was one of the things that prompted my resignation. Like the shame, I was just like, no, enough is enough. And then I also felt I hid a lot behind work. So I wasn't really dealing with the issues.
Talk to me
so
about
exactly,
that.
You know, so when my dad started calling me, sometimes I wouldn't even pick up his calls because I knew people were even calling my dad, texting him. By the time he found out how deep in debt I was, things were thick. Things were really thick. And then again, he helped me.
Oh.
He paid off all my debts. He got me back all my appliances. My TV, this was my third one because the other two I'd been unable to pay. So the loan on items guy sold them. My fridge, this was my third one. So he managed to get me the microwave, my kettle, my phone disappeared, just went like that. So for the past 2 years, I've actually been on a kabambe. And my dad said he's not buying me a phone. And to be honest, I didn't feel like I was ready for a smartphone. I didn't want a smartphone. Until recently, because now I'm starting to create content, you know? Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I also had the fear of, what if I get a smartphone and I go back
to those
loans, to those behaviors? So it was a good 2-year break for me. It was a really good 2-year break.
For me.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to walk me through these 2 years because the damage has been done. You've gone there, you know, in your conscience, you know, I ruined someone's family, and this can't just entirely be your blame. Both two parties knew what they were doing, right? You got into loan apps, you don't have genuine friends, you don't have genuine people you can go and talk to. How did these 2 years help you? Again, try to rebuild your life.
These 2 years made me realize, first of all, I'm not a victim. These things weren't done to me. I did them to myself.
Wow.
Every wrong decision I made got me to this place. Got me here, you know? And then the second thing, the way I treated my dad and disrespected him, I think to me,
it's okay.
It's all right. How I treated my dad, but how he's consistently showed up for me. That made me realize, anyway, I wasn't surrounding myself with good people. Because you see, from this experience, I got to see what real love truly is. It's being there even when somebody has disappointed you. I've disappointed my dad so many times. I have let him down so many times. But he didn't give up, you know. Oh, gosh.
He was there.
He's been the one constant. The one constant. So in these 2 years, one thing I learned, and I feel like even what God was trying to show me was fix this, mend this relationship and situation with your dad. It's a very important relationship, and it's something that you will need for the rest of your life. So for the past 2 years, that's what's been happening. I'm telling you, Lynn, I have been praying, and if there's one person that I've been praying for is my dad, for God to heal and to fix the relationship between me and my dad. I'm telling you, after I quit my job, people would call me, I wouldn't pick up the phone. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I got into such a deep depression. There were times where for 2 weeks I wouldn't shower. You can't even begin to imagine. Like I could smell myself, but it didn't matter. My curtains are closed. So if your parent is calling you, you're not picking up, then your phone goes off. No one has seen you. He would send my siblings to come and check on me in the house. I wouldn't open the door because I was so ashamed. I didn't want people to see me that way. Unshowered, unkempt, you know. I feel like I just didn't want that situation to happen. I was hiding. That was shame. I was hiding, you know. So my dad was the one person who was constantly calling me, telling me, toka kwa nyumba, twende kwa shamba, let's go and do this. Because of my dad, I had food. My light stayed on. I had running water, clothes on my back, just the basic needs and necessities he provided. That has been my dad. So healing that relationship, focusing on that relationship, fixing that relationship has been and will always be a priority with me. Because even in the 10 Commandments, it says, honor your father and mother. It doesn't talk about your neighbors, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your auntie. It says mother and father. So that's really important to me. My relationship with my dad is the most important relationship in my life right now. That and with God. Nothing else matters.
How is he?
He's good. He's good. So he helped me start my content creation business. He got me on my feet. We bought equipment. So yes, so tripods, lights. So I'm ready to start, you know. And I remember he said, I have a feeling this is going to change your life and make it better, you know. And then can you imagine your dad saying, I pray for you. I want you to be okay. I want you to be successful. How many of your friends tell you, I'm praying for you. I want you to succeed. At least my friends didn't. My friends were drinking friends and partying friends. The minute I had nothing to contribute to those parties and...
there you go.
There you go.
The moment you have nothing to contribute.
Yes. And I remember watching this interview Jimmy Gathu did. Where he was talking about when he went broke. And he said there's this one time he called up a friend asking him for 2K. And that guy didn't disconnect the call. He heard him telling his other friend who he was seated with that, hey, Jimmy Gathu has just called me asking me for 2,000. The same exact thing happened to me. Somebody I have never asked for money in my life. I called up and I was like, hey, I need 2K. Can you help me? I'll pay you back. The minute that call was done, before I knew it, I was a WhatsApp conversation. So sometimes also you need to understand there are people who are always waiting in the wings, ready for any situation, just to see you fall.
There you go.
Just to see you fall. Some people are always ready, waiting to spread negative news and information about you. But when I was there on TV, when I was seemingly doing well, no comments, no congratulations, no this. But the minute bad news about me is out there, it's circulating all over the place. It circulates. Bad news travels so fast. But you know the beauty of everything is there's no friendship that I miss. That's also another thing. You know where you can sit down and say, I miss this person and I miss this person. No. I feel that everybody that has been removed from my life has been removed for a reason. I'm not bitter. I'm not resentful. I'm not angry anymore. I have no hatred. I have felt hatred mpaka imeisha. I'm just in a space where be blessed.
Be blessed.
Be blessed.
Be
I
blessed.
just want peace. I want peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I just want peace.
You just want peace.
Yeah.
Oh man, you've gone through a lot.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
like that you are not here as a victim.
Yes.
You are taking full ownership
And accountability.
What are you owning up to right now?
I'm owning up to some of the relationships that have fallen off. You know, some of the choices I made affected so many people. I remember while I was struggling with my debt,
Yes.
there was my older sister. I called her boyfriend behind her back asking him for money. You see, so there was so much that happened around that period. So some relationships deteriorating is my fault. I take full responsibility and accountability for it. As in, there's nobody that can tell me any different. I messed up. I totally get it. Getting into debt, again, that is my fault. What kept me from asking for help was pride. I felt like I had messed up so much in the past that I now just wanted to show people I'm on TV, I've made it big, everything is good with my life, everything is okay here. So I was so concerned about what my outward image was saying, but yet on the inside, I was dying.
You were breaking.
I was breaking. I was breaking. You know, there were days even in my house I would have no food. Your house is empty, you have no smartphone, hauna chakula. Sometimes I would mix oatmeal with hot water. And if I didn't have my kettle, unaenda kwa shower, you know, put on the heater. Yes, yes, Lynn, I am telling you. So,
What?
you know, I can look back at some of these situations and I can ask myself, what the hell were you doing?
Yes.
What the hell were you thinking? You know, yeah, I have been through it, but I've come out on the other side so much stronger. My eyes are more open to so many things.
Yes.
And there's one thing that I read, you do not know God without pain. Even a lot of the people you've interviewed have gone through hell, and that's the reason why they've turned to God. I feel like also this was a wake-up call. Like God was telling me, where you're headed is not a good place.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yes.
I need to restructure your life, and you need to let me.
Yeah.
So I remember I would say, if there's anybody in my life that shouldn't be in it, Lord, just remove anything. My old habits, Lord, fight them off.
Oh.
Fight them off. Remove anything negative and bad from my life.
Yes.
I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So I've become a prayer warrior.
Oh.
Exactly. Like I love, honestly, and ever since that has happened, I have felt such a difference even from within me. I remember even when I was battling my depression,
Yes.
my body became so weak. I started experiencing pains. I would even go to hospital. Doctors are running tests and they're not finding a problem. I was in so much pain, Lynn.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes a doctor would think najifanya, but I'm saying I can't sleep, my back, my stomach, my this and my that, blood tests, scans, no problem, no issue. But the minute I started leaving my house, walking up and down, prepping and getting ready for this content creation, my body just felt so much better. It's like now I have something to live for. I have a purpose. I'm finally doing something with my life, you know?
Yeah.
That has made all the difference for me mentally, physically, emotionally, and even for my spiritual well-being. Yeah.
I know, and you know, I say the best thing I love about this show is that we watch and we learn. And we have also had stories where some of us would be the first one to pick a stone and just throw. And I love that people watch this show with a very non-judgmental mind, which makes me a bit happy, so that people can be able to tell their stories and people can learn. But as you make mistakes, people have also to be very intentional about their apologies, about trying to make up. Have you reached to some of the people?
Oh yeah, I have. Everybody, everyone that was affected, I have reached out and apologized. And the feedback was really good, except for that, for one person.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
And the wife to the person, did you ever call?
No, I have never done that.
Is there anything
They are back
you wish
together.
you would say to
They
her?
are back together. Everything is guessing okay with them. And I just felt like if I was to reach out, it would, I don't know.
Not to him, to her, would you say anything?
I would say I'm sorry. Really, really sorry for the ways in which I affected and negatively affected and impacted her family. Yeah. For that one, I would say deeply, deeply sorry. Yeah. Because that was so wrong of me. And then at the end of it, I didn't even gain anything from it. In fact, I lost so much.
You lost
I lost my relationship with my dad. You know, I lost friendships. I lost credibility as a professional and as a woman. I lost so much of myself.
Let me ask you this. It's okay. There's this part where you move on with a loved one and you completely stop talking to your parents. I've seen it happen in a couple of scenarios where you detach from your parent. To you, what made you not want to continue having a relationship with your dad?
It's not me that wanted to not have a relationship with my dad. I didn't live in a positive way. So
and he knew who you were living with.
Exactly. So it's a situation that that created that animosity. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
You are saying it right.
For me, the shame, I couldn't reach out to my... How do you reach out to your dad when he knows you're living with a married man? How? What do you say? Where do you even start?
What kind of conversations do you have with dad now?
Okay, the thing with my dad is I've never been able to emotionally... Dads are tough. They're not like mothers where you can go to them and say, this one has broken my heart, I'm a this and this. He knows I was dealing with depression. He knows my struggles. He knows what my career path is, what I want to do with my life. But on a deep level, we talk about the economy, we talk about, stuff, but we are not intimately
connected.
Like that has never been. It's not that, I don't know, like that connection.
The emotional connection.
I've never felt like I can talk. I don't know how to say it without... Like there's I don't want to say
I know
like
what
I'm
you
attacking.
Feel. No, I know what you feel.
Yeah, I'm saying like he's a loving dad, he's a supportive dad, but we have
there's some things you still can't.
I can't.
Well,
Yes. So even this interview, he didn't know I'm filming it because you see, another thing is my dad is one of those. I think most families are like that. Privacy, they value privacy. Keep your shame to yourself, but it's a conversation I need to have with him immediately after this, before this airs. He needs to know.
Will you let me know once you have it so I can air it? Because I wouldn't want to.
No, just air it.
I know he'll sit and he will watch.
He will watch, probably even understand. Exactly.
So that we take advantage of the moment. What would you really want to tell your dad from your heart?
Wow, this one is so easy. I love him.
I love that.
I love my dad. What? And Dad said I wasn't going to cry.
No. And we said it's okay.
I love him.
Yes.
I am so grateful for him. Thank you for all the ways he supports me, supports my siblings, supports those that he loves, the things that he does. Some of my sisters have even saved him on their phones as Superman. Me, I've saved him as MVP, So he's such a strong guy. Being a single parent is... It's not easy. It's not a joke, So he's provided for us, made sure we've gone without. And I feel like one of the reasons I'm really fighting to do good and to succeed is I feel like I want to give back to him the ways in which he's given to me. I know I can never make up for what he's done for me financially, but even being able to buy your dad a jacket, being able to get him a watch, just those simple things. I want to give back in so many ways. And I want him to finally sigh in relief and say, my daughter is fine. She's finally okay.
It affects him greatly.
Exactly. I mean, he says he thinks about us, his children, every day. What do we need? What are we lacking? So to everyone out there that has a loving dad, a supportive dad, be grateful. Respect them. Love them. value them while they're still here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your siblings, how are you guys?
How is
your
okay.
relationship?
Up and down, like with most sibling relationships.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully things get better. Yeah.
You look like you are you're very intentional about where you're going with yourself right now. You look like you're very intentional about the decisions that you're making and even the content that you want to create. If I may, what kind of content? Do you already have a channel?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Now, one of the things, when you mention intentional, it's very true.
Yeah.
One of the things that kept me going during my depressive state was cooking. And Maki, do you know, I've always wanted to do a cooking something for years. I love cooking. I'm good at it. So I'm actually shooting something for a prospective client.
Yes.
So, and this is also something I feel God has put in me.
God.
So Lynn, pray for me. We're shooting it on Saturday.
Oh, yes.
Sending it to the client and let's see how it goes.
All the best.
Yes. And then also something that I want to focus on is mental and physical wellness. People don't understand how the two correlate. You know, when you're depressed, you're stagnant physically also. You stay in bed, you're sleeping on the couch, you're stagnant, your body,
it's just you in the kitchen.
Exactly, you're eating and you're sleeping, you're eating and you're sleeping. That is all you're doing. People don't understand how getting up and taking a walk can positively affect your body physically and mentally. So I want to do something in regards to that, wellness, physical and mental. And I want to pair the two. So even for that, there's a brand that I have in mind. I have been praying for the past 2 years. So for me, the positive thing is, if Lynn Ngugi has worked, then these two brands that God has put, then they will work too.
They will work. If it's according to God's will, they will work.
Exactly.
They will work.
They will work.
I'm just wishing you all the best.
Maki, thank you so much.
Let me tell you, we have all fallen short. Even me as Lynn. Nakwambianga siku moja nitamka inchi nita trend. Watu watanichapa huku even nyinyi. Lynn, even me, I always say, as long as I first understand I am human, capable of making mistakes. I know no one is clean. Nobody can sit and say, I have not wronged, I have not done this, I've not done this. We've all. Sometimes it's just the level to which. But now for me, being here, I'm very intentional about what I say, what I do, who I'm with. I think it's just, you reach this level in life and all you can think about are two words. Intentional and deliberate.
Yes.
You become so intentional with the connections you're having in life. But since we are both media personalities, and this is something I've seen, there's always the need to act a certain way, look a certain way, be with a certain group of people. You know, even like my earlier days, I used to feel so scared because I don't have those the munaitanga aje your class, those your, I'm not in the zone, you know. So there was always that temptation of wanting to fit in here, fit in there. I joked in one of the interview I gave a long time, and I was like, even coming to the media industry, you always felt like you needed a certain accent. And you know, my name is Lynn Ngugi, welcome to like welcome to Lens, my name is Lynn Ngugi, you know, and you need a certain hairstyle. And I always say, I thank God. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, but I'm saying I thank God I came into this industry when I was broke. Because you have now to weigh options. Do I need the wig or the food? The wig or the fare? Like, but I see a lot of us, we struggle. Because I've been there, I've wanted to look a certain way, talk a certain way. It's just that, anyway, the surrounding was not favorable. But why do we do that? Do we feel so judged? Is there that we want to portray something that we are not? And for any aspiring media personality or someone who want to be in this field, what would you want to honestly tell them?
That's such a good question. The reason I feel like people have the need to fit in and move with the norm, you know, I should look a certain way, I should speak a certain way, we are not comfortable with who we are. You know, everything begins with self-love, self-value, self-appreciation.
Yes.
If you don't love yourself, if you don't value yourself, you're always going to be seeking validation from other things and other people. You see, growing up, I didn't like the fact that I was dark-skinned. I remember even one time telling my dad, like, I wish I was lighter. And he was so angry. He was so angry. I have always hated my dark skin. Because growing up, all we saw were yellows in magazines and etc. It's just right now that
people are
black skin is being accepted and being
popping.
praised.
Yes.
It's popping now, you know. But I was never comfortable in my skin. I never thought I was pretty. I never thought I was attractive. So any man that would come to me and say, you're beautiful, you have a nice smile, you have a nice figure, I would feel, oh my gosh, this man loves me. You see, again, that also shows in the relationships that I chased.
Yes.
I had no self-worth. I did not appreciate myself. I didn't see any value in myself. I had low self-esteem, and even now, it's something that I still battle with. I'll walk into a room and feel I don't deserve to be there, you know? So
I hope you felt you deserved to be here
yes,
today.
I did. By the way, you treated me so kindly, you and your team. I've drank tea, water. I've been given a blanket. You treated me so well and so kindly. And I'm so grateful. Yes, so grateful.
Because that's the feeling we look forward to in life. You want the acceptance that is genuine.
Exactly.
You want connections that are genuine. You want to have like authentic people around you.
Amen.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you're going far.
Amen.
Me, I know you've done the most. Everyone, even 90 of us who are watching, me included, me who is hosting you, we've done the most. It's not something I encourage, but I say we learn through lessons. We learn through mistakes. If you're not learning, you're not living. You're not living, you're just existing, and you're not growing either. You're not growing, which is very, Polly, I've forgotten something I really wanted to ask. Back to content creation. Not content, graduation. Did you finally graduate?
No, I haven't. And it's actually something my dad wants me to do. So I feel like I don't go back to school just to please somebody else. I don't make that mistake. But I feel at the right time, when I feel I'm ready to go back to school, I will go back to school. I will graduate, hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully my dad gets to see it and he gets to witness it.
And hopefully you feel good about it.
Hopefully I feel good about it.
Because we gotta be intentional about, you've said something important. We have to be intentional about doing things for us and not for other people. Because I feel like we lose ourselves so much wanting to please people and all they're waiting for is, Dad, I don't want to graduate like this. I want to graduate like this. We gotta be intentional with how we communicate also. But talk to me before Teresa joins us. Talk to me about shame and fear. Because man, if there's something like you said that can keep you stagnant, that can, you already, they say some of us, we are 70, but we already died at 25. We are just now existing. You are 70, but you already died at age 25, right? So if you can walk me through shame and fear, how you've dealt with them, and how do you feel about yourself right now?
Okay, as we've said, you mentioned earlier, shame and fear are very dangerous. In fact, the #1 cause of suicide and depression is shame. And there's also fear of speaking out. Because sometimes when people do, they are met with such negativity. And then remember, now we're in the social media era. Anything somebody does, in an instant, you're trending. People are mocking you. People are making fun of you. So for me, my story hadn't yet broken on social media, but the news about me and everything was everywhere. Everywhere. So imagine family members. You're thinking about your circle. I was thinking about DJ Kim Nigdi. Gosh, now what does this guy think about me? You know, I was so worried about what other people think about me. And that kept me hidden. And then I was so ashamed of the things that I had done, the things that had happened because of the choices that I had made. I stayed hidden. So I locked myself in the house. So how I came out of that was, by there I have an auntie, God bless her soul, Auntie Jane. As in, that woman helped me tap into myself emotionally. You know, someone who's just constantly offering you good advice. Someone who's just always so positive about everything. talking to you about your situation and showing you there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So number one, always have somebody that you can trust and somebody who has good intentions for you. That's very important. Don't just open up to anybody. There are some people who just want to know what's going on with you so that they can go and share with other people what's happening.
And you know,
somebody coming to your house and going to tell people hata hajaoga, mara alikuwa anakaa hivi, I went and this was missing from her house, mara there was this. Such negativity that can literally destroy you. People can literally destroy you. Stay away from negative people. If your instincts are telling you this person is not for you, believe it. Because sometimes I believe instincts is God trying to warn us about a certain situation. So attach yourself to good people, people that have good intentions for you. Number two, God. You see, for me, even though my dad was trying to be positive and everything, nobody could reach deep into my soul because the pain was so deep. The frustration, the fear, all these negative feelings were so deeply in. I don't even think if I had pursued therapy, I would have found any help. I'm being very honest. Like, God, I just started praying. I would cry. I would kneel. As in just telling God, please, like, honestly save me. You know, there are times where, you know, suicidal thoughts check into your mind. You know, there were moments where I didn't want to be in this world anymore. I just wanted to be gone and done, you know. But something in me just kept saying, fight, fight, fight. There's something greater for you, you know, after this. So please lean into God's power. For those people who say, I don't believe in God, trust me when I say, God will save you from so many situations. He will heal you. He will guide you. He will protect you. You may not like some of the things he does or the way he does it, but at the end of the day, knowing he's doing everything for you, for your good. So pray. Number three, as I've mentioned, please, 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 if you have a supportive mom, dad, please lean into their strength also.
We take that for granted.
We take them.
We think it's a must.
Exactly.
We think I have a dad, I have a mom, so they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
That's not it. That's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
That's a blessing there.
Because there's nobody in this world who wants to see you win, not even your friends, more than your folks.
When you look back, do you think there's anything that you are lacking, that you are trying to fill?
Like, I didn't value myself, Lynn. I didn't think I was good. I remember even when I would host interviews, there are times, like, I remember I was interviewing this Nigerian artist, Yanya. And I was so nervous and I was so afraid. So to get courage, what did I do? There used to be a bar just next door. I went there to take a few shots. So you see, like, when you feel unworthy, when you feel you're not good enough, you're not attractive enough, you're not worthy, you'll end up looking for things in so many other different places. You will look for other things to feed into you, but these things are not good or positive for you, you know? Another thing, if you're battling depression, please stay away from alcohol. Please stay away from alcohol. Please stay away from drugs. Don't party. No. Depression is a warning sign that something is wrong. Be still. Take a moment. Evaluate what is happening, what you're battling, what you're suffering from, and don't be ashamed of asking for help.
You've been able to come to terms with who you are, what you've done, what areas of your life you need to forgive. But there also something to add on. People need to stop. People need to stop staying in areas where they messed up. You done messed up already.
It's done.
It's done. There's nothing we can do apart from learn better from our experiences and move on and be intentional and deliberate about the human beings we are about to become. But back to loan apps before Teresa. I've been saying Teresa. Teresa is about to come in, guys. Hold on, just give me a minute. But back to loan apps. This is something, as I said when I opened this conversation. You know, if I go to my email right now and I just type loan apps, I'm going to have almost 100 emails. People are even asking me, Lynn, I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this debt. I need need to come to the show, people need to help me, all these things. And now, if there's one thing that you can tell them, what would you tell them? And do you think maybe there needs to be a regulation on how this data is shared? Because I don't know why people call other people ati mtu aliomba pesa.
Imagine.
Ama it's there on your terms and conditions that no one...
They even call people out of... You see, when you register for a loan app, they will tell you to list 2 names. But they won't just call those 2 numbers. They will call everybody in your phone book. So remember, I had names and numbers of celebrities on my phone book. There definitely needs to be some sort of regulation, like,
or something.
Especially now, the economy is so bad, so bad. And then there are all these advertisements. Well, there was this Machachari guy who did a press conference. He's battling addiction, betting addiction, right? Alimulikwa na girlfriend wake. There are all these advertisements, betting apps, loan apps, but people are not being told how dangerous getting into these situations is. You will register for a loan app. You will fail to pay that loan app. That decision will not just affect you. It will affect many other people. They will call your mother. They will call your father. Even some people were saying grandmother. Can you imagine insulting a grandmother? One of my friends, I remember, told me how she got 72 calls in one day. She had to put her phone on airplane mode.
Leave alone?
Yes, because of my debt. Yes. 72 calls in one day. And they were insulting her. So there definitely needs to be some regulation, because I don't think this shouldn't be, it's not legal.
No, I don't think so.
It's not legal.
And it's access to so much data.
Exactly. What are they doing with that information? What are they doing with that data? And then even to make things worse, after I had paid all loans, other loan apps have collected that information, my information, and they even message me and tell me, need a loan? Download, blah, 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 blah. They're even calling you, ati, unataka loan. I'm like, please don't call me or text me. And it's like these people like playing games. When you tell them, don't call me. When you text them, don't call me. Sa wanakusumbua. Exactly.
That's now when
so
the
information they collect is mishandled. So if you ask me what advice I would give, stay away.
Stay away.
Please stay away from loan apps.
I know things are tough. But
things are tough, and I know I sound tone deaf telling people don't borrow. But at the end of the day, I'm just giving you my advice. I did it.
Yes.
And 2 years down the line, I'm still paying the price.
You're still paying the price. What are you more proud of? Because I know you gotta be feeling good about something.
Oh my gosh. First of all, surviving. Not everyone that battles depression lives to tell the story. So just being here, surviving. And then being brave enough to sit on this seat and share my story with you. I am so proud of myself for that. You know, sharing your story also frees you. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is I'm not hiding anymore. Here I am. This is my story. These are the things I've done. This is what I've gone through. Take me as I am. It's that simple, you know? And I feel it's a perfect foundation for me to start my business. Exactly. Like I'm starting from scratch. I'm a 38-year-old woman.
You're kidding?
Yes.
No way.
I'm 2 years shy from 40. Yes. Oh, no. Imagine.
Oh, my.
So I'm starting from scratch with -0 in my account. I am building from the ground up. Do you know how the reason so many people are afraid of starting over?
Because no one wants to be seen.
No one wants to be seen. Imagine.
Nobody.
It's like I'm a child learning how to walk again. I am starting from scratch, Lynn.
You'll do great.
Yeah. So
I'll be here vouching for you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
I'll be here updating our people on what you're doing. I'll be here cheering you on.
Thank you so much.
No, you need that.
Thank you so much.
I just love that you are not in that cocoon of, oh my God, what will people say? What will people say? You are out of it already.
People didn't save me. God did. did.
God did,
Yeah.
you know, and you know the most important part about owning your story, no one can tell it differently.
Exactly.
You already told it. There
Exactly.
it is. You want to refer to something?
Yeah,
it
go
is.
by the
You know, so no one can try to tell it any other way
well
because
said.
they are not
Yeah,
you, and that's your power.
Exactly.
You took the power from anyone who would have wanted to tell it differently.
Exactly.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lynn,
I'm
for allowing
vouching.
me to do this.
You look so young. Hey, you look so young. Go you.
Amen.
Go conquer. I know
Amen.
you've shied away from telling us the name of your YouTube channel.
No,
but
Angeline
please tell us.
Wanjeri.
That is the name, the way it is.
Yeah, that's
it's here
yes,
on the screen.
yes.
May my people come and support you.
Yes.
May they be gracious towards you.
Amen.
May they extend grace towards
Amen.
you. And whatever it is that you do onwards, may it honestly reflect this new being that you know you've birthed.
Amen.
And may God just lead you.
Amen.
Yes,
Thank
and
you
don't
so,
judge
so
yourself
much.
too harshly.
Thank you
Don't
so
judge
much.
yourself too harshly.
Yeah.
And I love that you've owned it.
Thank you.
That's right. There
Thank
is a
you.
start.
Yeah. And and lastly, like to all your
feel free.
My people, your subscribers, your viewers, your followers, like if there's anybody going through something, please do not be afraid. Do not feel shame. We all go through hell. Everyone has a story. Yes. I'm sure even you, Lynn, you have a story.
Migi,
yes.
One.
Imagine we all have a story. Don't feel like, you know what fear does and what shame does? It isolates you and makes you feel you're the only one dealing with this issue. But then when you come out and express yourself, you get to find out there are millions of people struggling like you. Whoever gets to watch this has battled something similar. You get something from this. Yeah. You can smile again. You'll be happy again. God will bless you with good friendships and relationships. God will put you on the right path. Everything will be okay. Everything. Do not despair. Do not despair.
I love you.
Yeah. Do not despair.
Thank you so
much.
Go out there and conquer. Go out there and conquer.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add before for the last time. Let's please guys, Teresa will be like, Lynn, I wanna, so before I bring our resident therapist Teresa to be able to summarize this for us, is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we've not touched on?
Is there anything? By the way, be grateful to, you know, the way we dharau cleaners, those people we feel are below us. Yeah. Let me tell you something. While I was broke and not having anything in the house, there's this shopkeeper lady. Her name is Faith Ndinda Peter. Just there around where I stay. Yeah. She would give me food on credit. Noodles, even pads when I needed and I didn't have. She was there to help. I remember even there were times where I didn't have transport money to go to work. I would go to her. She would give me the money. At the end of the month, I pay her back. So be kind to people. Be very, very kind to people, because the person who you're disrespecting could be the person who is saving you tomorrow.
Who comes through
yes.
for you.
I've entered a job where I was short 10 bob and the conductor was like, when you demo Stevie usijali. You know, like throughout, as much as I was experiencing such negativity, there were so many people
that
feeding that and courtesy to me. So treat people with kindness and respect.
Because the same people you meet on your way up
are the same people
you'll meet on your way down.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Oh yeah, so my socials, Angeline Wanjeri everywhere. Yes. That's on YouTube, that's on Instagram, and even on Twitter and Facebook. Angeline Wanjeri.
Yes.
Yeah. So subscribe, like, comment, share. So that's what people say.
Yes.
Put your post notifications up.
Notifications so that you don't get to miss any of her episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that you're also looking forward to doing things that you are passionate about.
Yeah.
There's something, you know, I can sleep in this set. I can host 10 shows. Like, I'm so passionate about this job. And it's so easy for me. And it's so, when you are passionate about something, it becomes really easy. And please update me so that I can actually keep supporting you. I want to support support your work.
Amen.
I want to support the fact that this is a rebirth.
Yes.
You are rebuilding something,
Yes.
and I want to be part of it. So ukikwama pahali, you need a place to come and film from. Hey, come here.
Thank you so much,
come
Lynn,
here.
for your grace and for your kindness.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Come here, and I'm looking forward to what the future holds for you.
Amen.
Please extend our love and grace to your dad.
I will.
He's an amazing man.
He is.
We don't get to find that often,
Yeah.
but I just hope he will look back and say, I'm glad I held her hand
Exactly.
when it mattered. Yeah.
Exactly.
So guys, you've been hearing me say I'm welcoming Triza. I'm gonna let Angeline go because Triza has been here listening, and I know she was just taking notes, because I always say the best part about this job is also us getting a professional perspective of things so that we can do better. As Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. So Triza, karibu sana.